Welcome back to the Gadget Sage podcast, the place where we dive deep into the world of tech, gadgets, and the future of innovation. Today, we're talking about one of the most exciting rumors to hit the tech world, Apple's foldable iPad. We've seen Samsung, Google, and even Motorola jump into the foldable market, but Apple has been noticeably absent. That might be changing soon. Reports now suggest that Apple could be preparing not just a foldable iPad, but also a foldable iPhone. So in today's episode, we'll cover the latest leaks and what they tell us, what makes Apple's approach to foldables different, the challenges Apple faces, whether a foldable iPad is even a good idea. Let's get into it. Segment 1. The latest leaks. What we know so far. Apple is famous for taking its time when adopting new technologies. Samsung is already on its 6th generation of foldable devices, and yet Apple has been silent until now. According to a research note from GF Securities analyst Jeff Pu, Apple's first 2 foldable devices have recently entered New Product Introduction, NPI, at Foxconn. That's basically Apple's way of saying, okay, let's start experimenting and refining these designs. Here's the timeline according to Pu. April 2025. Apple begins early prototyping. Second half of 2026. Mass production starts. Late 2026 to early 2027. Apple could announce its first foldable devices. And here's the exciting part. It won't just be a foldable iPhone. Reports suggest Apple is working on a foldable iPad with a massive 19-inch display when unfolded. Segment 2. How a foldable iPad would work. Now, let's think about what a foldable iPad could actually look like. If the leaks are accurate, we could be looking at a 19-inch unfolded screen, almost the size of a laptop monitor. A book-style fold, meaning it could function as both an iPad and a compact MacBook alternative. Apple Pencil support for creatives. M-series chip for power, making it as fast as the latest MacBooks. With a screen this big, Apple could introduce new ways to multitask, such as running multiple full-sized apps side by side, turning the bottom half into a virtual keyboard, or even using it as a dual display device for creative professionals. Segment 3. Why Apple is taking its time with foldables. Some people might wonder, why hasn't Apple jumped on the foldable trend already? Well, Apple usually waits for a technology to mature before diving in. Remember how they didn't rush into 5G until they felt it was ready? The same applies here. Here are the key challenges Apple is solving before launching a foldable iPad. Durability. Early foldables had issues with screen creases and hinge durability. Apple is likely developing a hinge system that's smoother, more durable, and feels premium. Battery life. Foldables require more power to handle multiple displays. Apple needs to ensure a foldable iPad can last a full day. Software optimization. iPad OS would need significant changes to make full use of a foldable screen. Better multitasking, app continuity, and UI flexibility. Basically, Apple isn't just going to release another foldable, they want to release the best foldable. Segment 4. How would a foldable iPad change the market? If Apple gets this right, it could change how we think about iPads and even laptops. Here are a few ways a foldable iPad could reshape the market. Replaces laptops. With a big enough screen, an M-series chip, and a Magic Keyboard, this could be a MacBook replacement. Supercharged creativity. Imagine an iPad that unfolds into a full-fledged digital canvas for artists, architects, and video editors. New form factors. Apple's foldable tech could lead to new types of devices, such as hybrid iPad MacBooks or foldable wearables. If done right, Apple could make foldables mainstream, just like they did with tablets and smartwatches. Segment 5. Potential downsides. Is a foldable iPad a good idea? Of course, not everything about this sounds perfect. Here are some potential downsides to consider. Price. Apple products are already expensive. A foldable iPad could cost upwards of $2,500 or more. Durability concerns. Even with Apple's engineering, foldables are prone to wear and tear over time. Software optimization. If iPad OS isn't fully optimized for foldable screens, it could feel like a gimmick rather than a revolution. So the big question is, will this be the next big thing, or will it be another expensive experiment that only appeals to niche users? Segment 6. My predictions. What to expect from Apple's foldables. So here's my take. A foldable iPad will likely launch before a foldable iPhone. Why? Because Apple sees the iPad as a test bed for new designs, like they did with the M1 chip before putting it in MacBooks. Expect a price tag of at least $2,000 plus. This won't be an entry-level device, it'll be marketed toward professionals and early adopters. Apple's design will be different from Samsung's foldables. Instead of mimicking the Z Fold, expect something sleeker, more durable, and with a different aspect ratio. Release date? My guess. Announced late 2026, released in early 2027. If Apple gets this right, it could be the biggest leap for the iPad since its introduction in 2010. That's a wrap for today's episode of the Gadget Sage podcast. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to subscribe and leave a review. It really helps the show grow. And I want to hear from you. Would you buy a foldable iPad? Hit or drop a comment on YouTube. Until next time, stay wise and stay tech savvy.